If you enjoy thoughtful explorations like this, please give us a like and subscribe to support the channel. Welcome to British Heritage Prism, a channel dedicated to the greatness and conscience of Britain. In this powerful and compassionate exposé, I'll be exploring why equality for Muslim women in the UK often exists more on paper than in practice, and, how that can actually change. Through real-life cases, cultural insights, and a bit of tenacious truth-telling, this episode reveals how invisible barriers, from honour pressure to religious courts, prevent far too many British Muslim women from accessing their full legal rights. But this isn't just about struggle, it's about solutions. This video offers 3 top 10 lists that show a path forward for courage, empowerment, and unity in modern Britain. Alright, lovely people, take a load off, pour yourself a drink, and let's have ourselves a proper chinwag. This one's about women, British women, Muslim women, and the gap between rights on paper and rights in practice. Now, you might think, well, in the UK, we've got equality, and you'd be right, in law. But in life, well, that's another matter. Over the next 20 minutes, we'll do 3 things. First, I'll walk you through 10 rights that naturally born British women commonly enjoy. Rights which, for too many Muslim women in Britain, remain blocked or compromised. Then, we'll dive into 10 real-life barriers. Case studies showing how culture, community, law and practice collide. Finally, I'll lay on you a 10-point bridge plan. Things Muslim women can do to close the gap and claim those rights for good. So, pull up your stool, lean in, let's get cracking. From the 18th century on, English women fought to end arranged marriages. A woman's yes became sacred. But in some parts of Britain today, young Muslim women are still told you'll marry who we choose. Freedom of love, that's no small thing. Many British women can pick who they marry. No family committee, no approved list. They meet someone, like them, commit if they choose. For too many Muslim women in Britain, this right is restricted by expectations. Arranged marriages, family negotiated unions, pressure to conform. When you're told you'll marry so-and-so because the family says so, you haven't got full freedom of choice. Since 1857, the Matrimonial Causes Act gave women the legal right to separate, without church or cleric. But under some Sharia councils in Britain, women are told they can't leave unless their husband says so. That's not law, that's fear dressed up as faith. For British women, a marriage recognised under UK law means rights to assets, pension, divorce settlement, custody. They can separate, apply to court, have things split fairly, but if your marriage is only a religious ceremony, unregistered as a civil marriage, you may stand at the altar with rights that disappear like smoke after divorce. For example, in one case, a Muslim woman married for 18 years in a nikah ceremony discovered her husband claimed it wasn't a UK marriage, leaving her hugely vulnerable. From suffragettes in bloomers to punks in leather, British women fought for expression. But I've heard girls say they change into jeans at the bus stop, then back into a long coat before they get home. That's not choice, that's constraint. A British woman might choose a suit, a dress, a headscarf, or go bareheaded. It's her decision. No legal penalty, no social death sentence. For some Muslim women, wearing what they like can trigger community pressure. Not wearing what's expected triggers the same. Either way, the freedom to live how you choose can be constrained. Here, the law backs the victim. But if your whole community says keep it private, that protection means bugger all. In the UK, women have the right to pick up the phone, ring the police, call a refuge. They have protection from the state, now more than ever. But if you come from a community where going to the police means bringing dishonor, losing your place, being shunned, that means the right is there in law, but unexercised in life. In Britain, the welfare of the child comes first. But in some parallel systems, the father automatically wins. When a marriage breaks down, British women expect custody decisions made under UK family law. Their voices count, and the value of maternal qualities is given substantial weight in court proceedings. But some Muslim women report religious arbitration or community pressure, reducing their say in custody, even where UK law says they should have equal standing. Access to contraception, health checks, choice on family size, these are legal and mainstream for many British women. Yet, if you're living in a community where talking about sex or contraception is taboo, or you're told this is your husband's domain, then the right exists, but doesn't feel accessible. A British woman can go out, earn, save, invest, leave a relationship if she wants. Her financial independence underpins her legal rights. If you're discouraged from working, told your place is with the kids, or trapped financially, you may have rights on paper, but not the means to use them. Vote, stand for council, speak in public, protest, join a board, that's all part of what British women do regularly. If your community says this is not your place, or you're told you shouldn't speak out against men, then the right is technically there, but culturally chilled. In Britain, a woman can choose her faith, change it, practice it quietly. There's religious freedom. But if your community says if you leave or question you're out, well, the right again exists, but the penalty for exercise can be steep. In theory, every British woman stands equal under UK law. You're protected, you're valued, you can claim your rights. But when your lived experience shows you're less likely to claim, more likely to be isolated, more likely to be behind cultural walls, you see the gap between legal equality and lived equality. So there you are, 10 rights, simple on paper. Yet for many Muslim women in Britain, the journey between on paper and in life is full of stops and detours. Let's now walk into those detours. Strap yourselves in. In 2018, a Home Office review found dozens of Sharia councils operating as shadow family courts. One Birmingham woman, Farah, was told she couldn't divorce her husband unless she repaid her dowry, even after he'd beaten her. Grim pause. That's not arbitration, that's injustice, wrapped in religion. In another example, The Independent reported a woman who attended a London Islamic Sharia council, seeking a religious divorce. The Qadi asked, "You as a Muslim female should have known you need a Muslim judge or an Islamic court." even though a UK civil divorce had already been granted. Picture this. You've gone to court, you've got your civil divorce papers, you think the story's done. Then you walk into a religious council and you're told, this isn't enough, you need our divorce too. These councils aren't binding in law, yet the social and religious pressure to go through them is massive. A woman told, you can't call the police, that's the last resort. Meanwhile, her husband sits back. This parallel system makes women vulnerable. They may think they're protected, but they're caught between two systems, and one of them can leave them exposed. Where women rely on these councils instead of civil law, their rights to property, maintenance, custody can be undermined. A London woman, Aisha, told police she couldn't press charges. Her parents said it would shame the family. Sighs. When honor trumps safety, the law loses meaning. Here is an example in the sad story of the murder of Rukhsana Naz. At age 19, she was taken to Pakistan as a child bride and later murdered by her brother and mother when she defied that marriage and became pregnant. Rukhsana's story is one of fear, control, honor. When your family says you must marry your cousin when you say, I don't want to, you're not just defying expectation, you're defying survival. The pressure to conform, to accept what your elders decide, is so strong that even legal protections feel like they're in another world. A woman may have a right to choose, but if exercise means losing her family, her home, her support, well, many don't. Legal rights are only meaningful if women feel able to use them. When community pressure is stronger than law enforcement, rights become theoretical. Now here is a horrible cultural or religious practice that has no place in Britain, full stop. Banaz went to the police 5 times before her father and uncles murdered her in 2006. Voice cracks, slightly. She asked for help. They didn't believe her. She was buried in a suitcase. Britain promised never again, and yet honor killings still happen. Samira Nazir refused arranged marriage. She was engaged to someone of her choice. Murdered by her brother and cousin in Southall, London in 2005. Samira's story is horrific, but it shows what happens when patriarchy, honor culture, and violence mix. She exercised her right to choose a partner and paid with her life. In families influenced by honor logic, abuse may not be reported. A woman may think, if I report this, I'll be disowned, or worse, even strong legal protections, e.g., criminal laws against murder, domestic abuse, won't help if victims don't feel safe coming forward. Under UK law, forced marriage is illegal, but, culture and concealment mean it still happens. Imagine a girl from Britain taken abroad, told it's just a holiday, and then suddenly she finds herself married. Even after she returns, the stigma, the family ties, and, the fear mean many victims don't come forward. Police in Bradford rescued a 17-year-old who was being flown abroad to marry her cousin. Despite forced marriage being illegal, over 200 cases are still reported each year, and those are just the brave ones who actually speak up. For example, in 2018, one incredibly brave young Muslim British woman in Birmingham pressed charges against her mother, who was then convicted of duping her daughter into forced marriage abroad when she was 17. Legal prohibition exists, but honestly, enforcement and awareness lag. So, rights to marital consent and protection are undermined. Many immigrant women can't call a helpline because they don't speak English. Or, they fear their immigration status will be used against them. South All Black Sisters says this is one of their biggest battles. How do you protect a woman who can't safely say her own name? Reports by the secular campaign Equal and Free found a girl forced into marriage at age 13. Islamic councils accepted her as married. UK law did not. She was advised to attend counselling instead of seeking divorce. Imagine you're 13, pressured into marriage. You reach out. The religious council says we'll counsel you. The civil system treats you as irrelevant because, no civil marriage, no rights. The result, you feel invisible. You're in limbo. Structural barriers, language, isolation, lack of awareness mean rights exist, but access is blocked. Without personal income, leaving becomes impossible. The Home Office found that 70% of abused Muslim women depend financially on their abuser. A case study found many Muslim women reporting domestic abuse were financially dependent and unable to leave. If you're financially dependent, you're trapped. You might theoretically have the right to leave a relationship, but practically the rent, the bills, the kids, where would you go? Thus, personal autonomy, which underpins legal autonomy, is weakened. Independent earning is not just a nice to have, it's a core enabler of exercising legal rights. In Leicester, women have reported being followed or filmed for wearing makeup or jeans. Apparently, modesty is now a spectator sport. The case of Shabina Begum R versus Denbigh High also touched on religious dress and school uniform requirements. A trend appears. Women feel watched. If you wear a certain skirt, if you have your hair uncovered, someone may raise eyebrows. Conversely, if you cover fully, you may be told you're oppressed. This policing of behavior reduces the freedom of self-expression, which is itself a right. When behavior is monitored by community or religious norms rather than only by law, the freedom to choose is compromised. Girls pulled out of mixed schools after puberty, their futures swapped for family honor. One girl told a teacher, "I don't need GCSEs, I'm getting married." Research shows many Muslim women were steered away from further education or employment outside traditional roles. Without education, you're less able to earn, less able to leave, less able to engage with the law, less able to know your rights. It's the foundation of empowerment. When rights depend on capacity, financial, educational, legal awareness, but capacity is blocked, rights become hollow. Some Sharia panels still claim custody automatically belongs to fathers over 7. Tell that to the little girl crying for her mum. In the independence reporting of Sharia councils, women were told custody would go to the father by default under religious logic. You could win custody in civil law, but feel pressured by the community or the religious council to hand it over. Or you accept less because the backlash is just too great. So legal frameworks may be equal. But where cultural mediation occurs first, women's rights in custody may be diminished. Even outspoken Muslim women like Sara Khan face campaigns branding them as traitors. Courage, in those circumstances, is a daily act. That's not integration, that's isolation inside your own country. In evidence, submitted to a parliamentary review by women who said speaking up meant being labelled anti-faith, traitor, sellout. If you feel that using your legal rights means you'll lose your community, your identity, you might choose silence instead. The law says you may do something, culture says you mustn't. When culture wins, legal rights lose their bite. Right, so we've seen the gap. Now the bridge. If you're a Muslim woman in Britain wanting to claim your rights, here are 10 actions you can take, and by extension, how we as a society can help you. 1. Register your marriage civilly. Don't assume a religious ceremony alone gives full legal protection. 2. Learn English or improve your language skills. So you understand your rights, you can read, you can access services. 3. Join a women's support network or charity. Peer support gives strength, information, allies. 4. Seek independent legal advice early. Don't wait until things go wrong. Know your options. 5. Work or train for work. Financial independence is power. Even part-time, flexible work helps. 6. Speak up in safe spaces about community norms. Asking questions is not betrayal, it's empowerment. 7. Access counseling and health services when needed. Your body, your health, your choice. 8. Engage with schools, local councils, civic institutions. Have your voice heard. 9. Teach the next generation about rights and choice. Your daughters and nieces need to know. 10. Vote, campaign. Stand for office if you like. Representation matters. When you sit at the table, the rules start shifting. If each of you takes one of these, and the rest of us support them, we shrink the gap between rights on paper and rights in life. Remember, a right unexercised is a right wasted. Let's make sure they live them. Here's to every sister in every community, claiming her place, equal before the law, equal in life. Cheers. Thanks for sitting with me. If you found this useful, share it, pass it on. Let's light the conversation, let's push for change, because rights are only good when they're real. Good night and keep fighting the good fight. You will also find in the descriptions organizations that help protect women's legal rights.